This video will reveal the spiritual and mental secret that transforms your desire for prosperity into real financial abundance. No matter where you are in life right now, there is an invisible yet powerful flow surrounding you. And when you learn how to connect to it, your reality will begin to change. Abundance is not a distant promise. It is your God-given right, activated through your mind, your faith, and your daily choices. Napoleon Hill said that whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. This isn't just a beautiful quote. It's a spiritual law in motion. The universe, created by God, responds to sincere faith and focused thought. There is nothing more powerful than a mind aligned with the divine purpose of abundance. Most people live in lack, not because of a lack of opportunity, but because of an abundance of limiting beliefs. Beliefs planted throughout life that disconnect us from an eternal truth. God is the owner of all gold and silver. He is the inexhaustible source of provision. In Philippians chapter 4, verse 19, it says, "But my God shall supply all your need according to his riches in glory by Christ Jesus." Notice it doesn't say some of your needs. It says all. God is not a God of lack. He is a God of overflow. But he moves where there is faith, not fear. He works in the invisible where there is trust, not doubt. The first key to abundance is realizing that it begins within. Your bank account, your background, or other people's opinions don't matter. When you plant the right desire, watered by real faith, heaven begins to move. Napoleon Hill said that the starting point of all achievement is desire. A burning desire that doesn't make excuses, that doesn't stop at obstacles. That desire becomes faith, and faith becomes action. But listen closely. Faith is not waiting passively. Faith is believing so strongly that you start acting like you've already received. And that's when the invisible starts to become visible. Bob Proctor said the mind is like a garden. If you don't plant thoughts of abundance, lack will grow by default. What you think, you feel. What you feel, you attract. What you attract, you experience. Many pray for abundance, but continue to think, speak, and act as if they're expecting lack. God cannot bless a heart that rejects the seeds of its own blessing. Transforming faith is the kind that aligns thought with promise. It's not enough to want money. You must see yourself as worthy of it. It's not enough to ask for prosperity. You must think like someone who already has it. And here is the turning point. You don't need to see to believe. You need to believe to begin seeing. In Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, it says, "Now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen." Faith is the force that sustains what hasn't yet manifested. When you act with that kind of certainty, heaven begins to respond. Doors open, ideas flow, people show up, and provision finds its way to you. Right now, write this short declaration in the comments below to send a clear message to the universe. I receive abundance. Simple, direct, powerful. You're planting a seed. When you speak it, you activate it. When you write it, you reinforce it. When you feel it, you attract it. The life you want starts with a decision to let go of scarcity, to break up with doubt, to silence the voices that say you can't, and to listen to God's voice that says, "I will supply all your needs. You're not alone." The Creator of the universe has already prepared everything. Now, it's your turn to align your mind with His plan. Remember, Napoleon Hill taught that faith is the eternal elixir which gives life, power, and action to the impulse of thought. It's not enough to think, you must believe. It's not enough to believe, you must act. And it's not enough to act, you must continue. Abundance is a lifestyle, not an event. It begins in the mind, flows through the heart, and manifests in your reality. And the first step? You've already taken it by being here, listening to this message. That alone means your soul is ready for more. Now, we'll explore the truth that transforms desire into results, faith expressed through action. Many believe prosperity will come solely through prayer or only through effort. But real abundance is the result of a powerful partnership between the spirit and movement, between belief and execution. The spiritual key to wealth is trusting the unseen while stepping boldly in the seen. It's faith that moves your hands. It's prayer that ignites your purpose, Napoleon Hill said that faith is a state of mind that may be induced by affirmation or repeated instructions to the subconscious mind. That means you can train your mind to believe, and when belief is strong, action becomes consistent, courageous, and clear. What stops most people isn't lack of talent. It's lack of inner alignment. They don't know what to expect, so they don't move. But those with true faith take the first step, even if the path ahead is not fully visible. In Proverbs chapter 16, verse 3, it says, "Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established." Look at the divine sequence. You act, then God establishes your thoughts, not the other way around. You step out in obedience, and He brings clarity. Many people are waiting for God to reveal the entire plan before they act. But revelation comes in motion. Light increases as you walk in faith. Bob Proctor taught that the difference between the wealthy and the broke is not circumstances, it's mindset. He emphasized that we all live under the influence of a mental program, and that program dictates our decisions, habits, and results. If you want to live abundantly, you must reprogram your mind to match the frequency of prosperity. It starts with a new thought, but it's confirmed through new behavior. So, what kind of actions should you take? The first is this: act like someone who already believes. This isn't pretending, it's faith in motion. The person who trusts that blessings are coming begins to prepare for them. They organize their finances. They respect their time. They develop new skills. They walk with confidence, not because they see results, but because they know they're coming. Faith without works is dead. James chapter 2 verse 26 says, "For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is dead also." It's not enough to just think positively. You must speak, behave, and move positively. Speak as the prosperous do. Focus on solutions, not problems. Surround yourself with people who feed your vision. Every word, every step, every connection becomes a signal to God and the universe. I'm ready. Another powerful tool is intentional visualization. Napoleon Hill said that imagination is the most powerful workshop of the mind. When you visualize with faith, you begin to attract the reality you're creating internally. Visualization isn't daydreaming. It's seeing with the eyes of faith, creating a detailed, specific picture of the life you're building and feeling it as if it were already true. This is completely aligned with biblical truth. In Mark chapter 11, verse 24, it says, "Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them." Notice the order. You believe during the prayer, and you act after the prayer. Belief precedes manifestation. Action proves belief. That's why those with true faith are decisive. They don't wait for something to happen before they believe. They believe so strongly that something begins to happen. While most give up at the first obstacle, the faithful press on, because they know that obstacles are not stop signs. They are stepping stones. If you desire financial abundance, start aligning your daily habits with your faith. Organize your money even if you have little. Learn about wealth even if you're just starting. Honor your small commitments. Stop saying, "That's not for me," and start saying, "I'm preparing for what's mine." God promotes those who are faithful with little. Real wealth begins with an internal decision to walk in faith every day, even when results are delayed. That's what it means to live by faith, not by sight. It's walking like someone who knows the promise is real. It's entering the spiritual rhythm of abundance, where the invisible becomes visible at the appointed time. You were not created to barely get by. You were called to thrive. Faith is the bridge between where you are and where God is calling you. But that bridge must be walked step by step with courage, consistency, and vision. Every step you take, no matter how small, is a signal to heaven. I'm ready. The abundance you seek has already been released in the spiritual realm. Now it waits for your movement in the physical realm. Let your life become a living prayer. Let your steps speak louder than your words, because those who walk with God never walk in vain. Now we've arrived at a critical point on your journey, understanding why so many people, even those who pray, hope, and dream of a better life, remain stuck in cycles of scarcity. The reason is simple, but powerful. An unconscious mental program is running their lives. That voice inside, those automatic thoughts and reactions, they weren't chosen consciously. They were inherited. And until you take control of that program, you will never fully step into the life of abundance God has already prepared for you. But before we dive in, if this message is already speaking to your heart, take a moment right now to subscribe to hit the notification bell, like this video, and share it with someone who needs this message today. When you do, you're not just supporting the channel, you're expanding a wave of faith, wisdom, and transformation. Bob Proctor used to say, "You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are." This is a spiritual law. You're not drawing things into your life based on desire, but based on identity, the frequency you live in, the story you believe about yourself, and the patterns running in the background of your mind. Most people have been programmed since childhood with beliefs like money is evil, being poor is holy, life is just hard. But those ideas didn't come from God. They came from fear, misunderstanding, and generational struggle. In Romans chapter 12, verse 2, it says, "And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God." Transformation doesn't start with actions. It starts with your mind. If your current reality doesn't match what God promised you, it's time to renew your thoughts. Your mind is like soil. Whatever you plant in it will grow. Plant lack, reap lack. Plant faith, reap miracles. Plant prosperity, reap abundance. But to change what you harvest, you must first change what you're planting. That requires conscious repetition, intention, and spiritual awareness. Bob Proctor taught that your paradigms, those deeply ingrained patterns, control over 90% of your daily actions. So if your paradigm is rooted in fear, no amount of hustle can create lasting change. But here's the powerful truth. Every paradigm can be rewritten. It starts when you consciously choose a new identity and begin declaring it daily. Say things like, "I am prosperous. I am worthy of wealth. I am a child of the Most High, and He provides for me." It doesn't matter what your current circumstances are. What matters is the truth you choose to believe and speak. In Job chapter 22, verse 28, it says, "Thou shalt also decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and the light shall shine upon thy ways." What you declare with faith becomes established, and light begins to guide your path. Here's a powerful tool: daily affirmations spoken with emotion. Every day, speak life over yourself. Use phrases like, "Abundance flows to me with ease. I am aligned with divine provision. All my needs are met through God's grace." But don't just say them, feel them. Visualize what you're saying. See it in your mind. Say it with conviction. That emotion sends your declaration deep into your subconscious and raises your frequency. You must also become intentional about what you allow into your mind. What you watch, what you listen to, and who you surround yourself with all feed your inner world. If you're constantly exposed to fear, gossip, scarcity, and negativity, you will vibrate low, no matter how much you pray. Guard your mind like sacred ground. Feed it with the Word, with messages of hope, with teachings that lift you higher. Napoleon Hill said you must keep your mind focused on your goal, your heart filled with faith, and your spirit full of determination. That's how you reprogram your life. You are not a prisoner of your past. You are a co-creator of your future. And when your mind is restored, your life begins to shift in visible, tangible ways. This doesn't mean ignoring your current challenges. It means rising above them spiritually. In 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 18, it says, "While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal." Abundance begins in the unseen, and faith is the key that opens that realm. Your mind is the bridge between the spiritual world and the physical world. When you think with faith, you create a field of attraction. When you feel gratitude, you accelerate divine timing. When you act with courage, you honor the blessings that are already on their way. Abundance programming is not a technique, it's a lifestyle. It's aligning your thoughts with God's thoughts, your vision with heaven's vision, your vibration with truth. Today you are being called to level up, to stop reacting and start creating, to stop wishing and start declaring. God is already ready. The abundance is already available. Now it's your turn to say yes with your thoughts, your energy, and your choices. You are ready. Now walk like it, speak like it, think like it, and the results will come. At this point in your journey, it's time to understand one of the most overlooked but powerful spiritual truths. You don't attract what you want. You attract what you vibrate. Everything in the universe is made of energy. Your thoughts, your feelings, your words, and your actions, they all carry a frequency. Prosperity is not something you chase. It's something you align with. Bob Proctor taught that your thoughts are vibrations, and you are always operating on a frequency, whether of lack or abundance. You might be praying for a breakthrough, but if you're constantly vibrating fear, anxiety, or frustration, you're blocking the very thing you're asking for. God responds to faith, not fear. Heaven moves when your energy matches your belief. Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7 says, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he." What you believe deep within determines who you become and what you experience. If in your heart you see yourself as broken, undeserving, or limited, that's what you attract. But when you begin to truly see yourself as blessed, favored, and chosen by God, your outer world begins to reflect it. Napoleon Hill said the subconscious mind translates thoughts backed by emotion into reality. And emotion is pure energy. It's your vibrational signal. High vibe emotions like gratitude, joy, hope, love, and certainty put you in alignment with abundance. Low vibe emotions like guilt, shame, fear, and doubt keep you stuck in scarcity. It's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about intentionally choosing the energy you want to live in. The Bible supports this entirely. Philippians chapter 4 verse 8 says, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, think on these things." That's not just advice. It's a divine strategy to keep your mind and energy in alignment with heaven. So, let me ask you directly, what frequency are you living in each day? Are you waking up with gratitude or complaint? Do you speak more about possibility or problems? Are you surrounding yourself with people who build your faith or people who drain your spirit? Everything you consume, spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, either lifts your vibration or lowers it. Now, here's a powerful practice to raise your frequency: gratitude in advance. Before anything manifests, thank God, like it's already done. In your prayer time, say, "Thank you, Lord, because provision is on the way. Thank you, because you are aligning everything for my good. Thank you, because my breakthrough is closer than I think." That's not just hopeful talk. That is vibrational faith. That is declaring from the realm of the spirit, not the flesh. And when you vibrate like that, everything begins to shift. You draw ideas, people, and resources that match your frequency. Bob Proctor often said, "You must behave like the person you wish to become." That's not fake. That's faith. When you act with peace, confidence, and generosity, even before the blessing arrives, you become a match for the blessing. You're not faking it, you're faithing it. Isaiah chapter 55 verse 9 says, "For as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts." God thinks on a higher frequency, and He's calling you up. You can't access divine abundance with a limited mindset. You must rise. You must think higher, feel higher, speak higher. Raising your frequency doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means facing it from a higher spiritual posture. It means responding to problems with peace, speaking life when others speak fear, declaring God's truth when the world declares chaos. That's not just positive thinking. That's spiritual authority. You weren't created to stay in low vibration. You were designed to reflect God's abundance. But that begins when you choose to believe what God says about you. You are chosen. You are capable. You are favored. And when you truly believe that, you start vibrating differently. And when you vibrate differently, you attract a different life. Be intentional. Surround yourself with beauty, with scripture, with music that uplifts your soul. Go outside and declare truth while walking in faith. Stop speaking scarcity. Stop saying, I can't, it's too hard, or it's not for me. Start saying, I'm ready. Provision is already mine. My God is faithful. Always remember this. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you vibrate. And when your vibration is aligned with the promises of God, miracles become your new normal. Opportunities find you. Favor flows toward you. The impossible begins to feel natural. Why? Because now, you're finally in tune. The frequency of prosperity isn't far away. It's right here. It's spiritual. It's powerful. And it's already available. The only question is, are you aligned with it? We've arrived at a moment that can redefine your life, the moment when you choose to commit fully to a life of abundance. Not just wish for it, not just believe in it temporarily, but to walk in it with conviction, with purpose, and with faith every single day. Real abundance isn't an accident. It's the natural result of alignment with spiritual laws, renewed thinking, and consistent action. Before we go deeper, if this message has blessed you in any way, take this moment to subscribe, hit the notification bell, like this video, and share it with someone who needs to be reminded of their divine right to prosper. You're not just helping the channel, you're spreading truth and transformation. Napoleon Hill once said that persistence is to the character of man what carbon is to steel. It's the daily repetition of intention that shapes your strength and determines your outcome. Abundance doesn't come to those who start and stop. It comes to those who plant, water, protect, and persist, even when they don't yet see results. The Bible confirms this. In Galatians chapter 6, verse 9, it says, "And let us not be weary in well-doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not." There's a due season for harvest, but only for those who don't give up. God honors consistency. Abundance is not just a blessing, it's a response to unwavering faith and faith-filled action. Bob Proctor taught that lasting change happens only when you change the image you hold of yourself. You can't expect to walk in abundance if you keep seeing yourself through the lens of your past. You must create and protect a new identity, one rooted in God's truth. See yourself as wealthy in purpose, rich in wisdom, full of potential, guided by grace. You don't become prosperous by chasing money. You become prosperous by becoming the person abundance naturally follows. Real prosperity is not just about having, it's about being a light, being generous, being wise, being aligned with the purpose God placed in your life. When you seek abundance to serve and not just to store, the heavens respond. God expands your territory when He sees that you want more, not to boast, but to bless. In 2 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 8, it says, "And God is able to make all grace abound toward you, that always having all sufficiency in all things, may abound to every good work." That's not a small promise. That's divine overflow. God wants you to always have all sufficiency in all things, not just for your own comfort, but so you may abound in every good work. That's the kingdom purpose for prosperity. So here is the final invitation. Commit to your new identity today. The identity of a person who thinks abundantly, walks confidently, gives generously, and lives intentionally. Speak life every morning. Guard your thoughts every night. Surround yourself with vision and truth. And when fear or scarcity try to sneak back in, remind yourself who you are, a child of the Most High. Every day, declare, "Today I choose abundance." Every trial, say, "This is part of my process." Every blessing, remember, this is the hand of God. Your path won't always be easy, but it will always be worth it. When it feels slow, trust that divine timing is at work. When it feels dark, know that God is still in control. When you don't see results yet, keep sowing. The harvest is already on its way. Napoleon Hill taught that success comes to those who desire it intensely, believe in it deeply, plan it clearly, and pursue it persistently. You've already taken steps. You've already sown seeds. Now it's time to stand firm and walk daily in this truth. And if ever you feel lost, come back to this message. Read the Word, speak life, reignite your vision. Because faith isn't just a feeling, it's a daily decision. Abundance isn't a one-time breakthrough. It's a lifestyle of obedience, intention, and alignment with heaven. You didn't arrive at this message by accident. It's confirmation. It's activation. It's a divine signal that your season of lack is over and your new cycle of abundance has already begun. Because the moment your mind changed, your future shifted. You are chosen. You are a leader. You are a light in the dark. And the prosperity you've been praying for is not only possible, it's already prepared. So now, receive it, speak it, activate it, and most of all, live it.